Do you know what is a good strategy? Having a plan, executing upon that plan, and being intentional in every direction that we execute. Be intentional every step of the way, and the likelihood of you hitting, and not just hitting, but smashing your goal is going to increase significantly. Hey, how's it going, everyone? My name is Matthew Welsh, and welcome to the Leaders Only podcast, where we talk about business, leadership, mindset, and it's pretty much anything revolved around building an incredible life. You know, the reason that I started this podcast because I felt like on the way to where we're at now, there wasn't really a place to go learn tangible skill sets, leadership qualities, and mindset strategies that you can learn today, apply today, and get immediate results. And so the goal of this podcast is to teach you the things that you need to actually win, to actually change your life, and to actually grow your business and grow your team if you're someone that's in a leadership role. And so if you can do me a favor, if you ever get something out of our message, if you ever get something out of the content, if you can like, share, subscribe, just tell people about it. We put out all this information for free. And so all we ask is that you share it with a friend if you get something out of it. So with that being said, thank you guys so much, and let's tune in.
I'm a big mood. You can't name a lot of things that I didn't.
Guess what, ladies and gentlemen? We are here. Today is the day. Today is January 1st, 2025, the first day of the entire year and the first day of the rest of your entire life. And I hope you're looking at this year as a year that's going to be an absolutely explosive year, a year where everything's going to change for you, a year where everything's going to shift for you. And today my message is going to be geared around that. What are some of the things that we can do to genuinely make this the greatest year of your entire life? And I don't mean that in a cheesy way. I really don't. I know people always operate with the new year, new me. And as much as I don't believe in that, right? Because you can't be the same old person in a new year and expect new results. What I do believe in is that at any point in time, you can make a decision where you're going to change your life. At any point in time, you can make a decision. I hope today's that day where you make a decision where you decide that moving forward, you're not going to be the old version of you. You're going to be a better version of you in every area of your life. You're going to grow. You're going to get better. You're going to change your financial situation. Your marriage is going to get better. The relationship with your children is going to improve. You're going to grow stronger in your faith. You're going to decide to become more healthy. I just hope every area of your life is filled with abundance over this next year. And I'm excited to hopefully be a part of it by the message that we're going to be talking about today. So what are some of the things that we need to make sure that we do to hit our goals? Because most people don't even make it out the first month. You know how many people start a gym membership going into the new year, and more than 70% of people have already quit on that membership, have already quit on those goals by 2-3 weeks into the month? I don't want that to be you. I don't want you to be just another person that sets goals and doesn't hit them. That's what most people do. That's what average and ordinary people do. They set a goal, they never come close to it. They set a goal and they say, you know what, we'll do it next year, and then the next year, and then the next year. We don't want that. We want this to be the year. And if this is going to be the year, there's some things that we need to do to keep us on track. And I want to talk about what those things are. And so the first one is having a running mate. Boy, oh boy, is this important. You need to have a running mate. You need to have a partner that's going to hold you accountable. It's going to call you out. It is so important and it is crucial. You know, we've all had those gym partners before where you're like, you know what? I'm tired. I'm exhausted. And they're like, me too. Let's just not go today. That is a bad running mate. You do not want that running mate. The running mate that you want is the running mate that's going to show up to your house and say, I don't care how you feel. You made a commitment. You made a promise that you were going to get in shape. We're delivering on that commitment. We're delivering on that promise. So get in the car. We're going to the gym right now. That's the type of running mate that you were looking for. And not just physically. I'm talking about in all areas of your life. You want a running mate in your business. Someone that's going to hold you accountable. Someone that's going to force you to make calls with them. You know, they always ask the question, you know, what matters more, the journey or the destination? And the answer to that question is neither, right? Neither of those things is most important. Because you could be on a miserable journey, but if you're with incredible people, now that journey becomes memorable. And you also could be at an incredible destination sitting on the beach of Bora Bora. But if you're with a whole bunch of people that you don't like, then all of a sudden it no longer has the same value, the same level of happiness and or fulfillment. You're not going to enjoy it as much. And so what is my point? When you have somebody that's right there with you every step of the way, that's embracing the suck with you that it takes to get a business off the ground or scale a business to a whole nother level. When you have somebody that's in the trenches with you that you can count on, they can count on you, it just gives you a different level of confidence because it multiplies your effect. You know, if you look at Clydesdale horses, a Clydesdale horse by itself can pull 8,000 pounds. But two Clydesdale horses together can pull over 30,000 pounds. What does that mean? That means that their strength and their ability multiplies, not adds, multiplies when more than two people are dialed in and focused together. So do I love it when this is a husband and wife? Absolutely. I absolutely love that. But regardless, whether you're married or not, I think you should have a business running mate that is not your wife, that is not your husband, that you can compete with, that you can go back and forth with, that you can call each other out, and you guys can hold each other accountable. So important. If you want to smash your goals in 2025, you need an accountability partner. You need a running mate. Number 2, read your goals every morning and every night. No matter what, read your goals every morning and every night with high levels of enthusiasm and out loud. Why is this so important? Because if we can control the start of our day and we can control the end of our day, the middle will work itself out. So if every single morning you are reading your goals out loud with intentionality, with enthusiasm, with excitement, with passion, energy, conviction, well then guess what? Throughout the day, that is going to be a dominating thought on your mind. So let me give you an example. Let's say in 2025, you have a huge goal to go make a 7-figure income. And every single day you wake up and you say, I'm so happy and grateful that in 2025, I made a 7-figure annual income. And you start the day that way and you end the day that way. Well, then guess what's on your mind throughout the day? You earning that 7-figure income. So when all of a sudden it's 3 o'clock and you want to just kick your feet back up, guess what thought creeps into your mind? The thought of making a 7-figure income. And then you start to ask yourself, is the action I'm about to take going to get me closer to the goal? No, then I shouldn't take that action. So when the goal is on the mind, when the dream is on the mind, it makes decision making easy. And so by reading your goal in the morning and at night, what it does is it keeps the goal on your mind. So now when things pop up, the question is very simple. Is what I'm about to do, what I'm about to say, and the action I'm about to take going to get me closer to the goal? Yes, execute, execute, execute. No, don't execute. It's very, very simple. It's a very simple thing. So if we control the morning, control the night, the day will work itself out. So read your goals out loud twice a day with passion, energy, and enthusiasm. Number 3, run a non-negotiable schedule. What is a non-negotiable schedule? A non-negotiable schedule is a schedule that you don't negotiate with. Meaning that if you say that you're going to work from 3 to 7, because maybe right now you have a full-time job and you're trying to transition to a full-time business, or maybe you're full-time in your business, whatever it is, you need to have a full-time operating hours, regardless of whether or not you have any activity going on. You know, I remember when I was trying to get my financial business off the ground, I didn't have a lot of activity, but what I did have was a non-negotiable schedule. Every day I worked from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. That was it, right? 12-hour day, a half day, no big deal. Okay. And so I was going to be in my office from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. Well, Matt, what if you only had one appointment that day that took an hour? That means that there was 11 hours that I was in my office trying to figure out a way to not have to repeat that boring day again the next day. And so by running that non-negotiable schedule, it forced me to create activity. It forced me to get better. It forced me to work on my craft because I wasn't allowed to go home. I wasn't allowed to leave my office. I had to sit there all day long, even if I had nothing to do, because the schedule made me. What most people do is they have a schedule and then they negotiate with it. Well, I don't have anything on the calendar today, so I'm not going to do anything. Well, I don't have this, or I don't have that. Well, I got to go to the grocery store, so I'm going to go to the grocery store at 2 p.m. on a Tuesday. Are you kidding me? You think a successful entrepreneur is going to the grocery store at 2 p.m. on a Tuesday? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. They're getting after it. They're getting ahead. So you got to have that schedule. It is important and it is imperative to your success. Allow your calendar to be your boss and do not fight it. Let me say it again. Do not fight it. Let your calendar be your boss, and just whatever that calendar tells you to do, you have to go do. Number 4, decide upfront how you are going to deal with problems and how you are going to deal with adversity. You know, most people are not good at dealing with adversity. When all of a sudden a problem pops up, adversity pops up, right? They're emotionally unstable for a day, 2, 3, 4, or 5, however long it takes to get through that adversity. They're emotionally unstable. They're not executing the same way. They're not working as much as they were working because they need to cope and go take care of themselves. And then all of a sudden, their business crumbles, their momentum crumbles, their income crumbles, everything crumbles. We can't have that happen. So if you want to have a successful 2025, you need to decide upfront, this is how I'm going to deal with problems. This is the level of integrity I'm going to operate with. This is the level of honor I'm going to operate with. This is the level of mental toughness I'm going to operate with. If it's really, really bad, I'll take 5 minutes, I'll go take a nap, and then I'm going to brush it out of my mind because there's nothing that I can't do. There's nothing that I can't get through. Your entire life, you've made it through adversity. So why would the next adversity be any different? So why are we treating it as if it is? Adversity shouldn't faze you, but it phases most people because they haven't made the decision up front how they're going to deal with it. So most people think, oh, I made it through adversity, so I'm mentally tough. No, everybody makes it through adversity. If you're breathing, you've made it through adversity. That's not something that's impressive. What's impressive is, can you win through adversity? So I want you to write a contract with yourself. Today, January 1st, write a contract with yourself. This is how I'm going to deal with adversity in 2025. I'm never going to allow it to faze me for more than maybe a day. And then if you're an elite performer, maybe more than an hour. Go hit a box, go to the gym, or go on a run, or go take a nap, or go spend time with your honey. Whatever you got to do, right? Whatever you got to do, just make sure that the adversity does not linger. So important. Don't let it linger. Make a decision up front how you will deal with it, and then it'll make executing and getting back on track a lot easier. I've seen so many entrepreneurs, their whole month got ruined, their whole quarter got ruined because one adversity. Are you kidding me? You just gave up a quarter of a year because of one adversity that you could have dealt with in your mind in 30 minutes to an hour if you just pre-negotiated with yourself how you were going to control it, how you were going to handle it, the level of integrity that you would operate with. Goodness gracious. And the last thing that I'll tell you about this subject is this. On the other side of every adversity is a greater than or equal to blessing waiting on the other side, as long as you qualify for it, not as long as you look for it. Because you can look for it, but if you are not honorable through the adversity, you're not going to qualify for it. So make the decision. Whenever adversity pops up, whenever a problem pops up, I'm going to qualify for the blessing. I'm going to be honorable. I'm going to operate above board. I'm going to treat people right. I'm going to stay in a positive, calm, collective state of mind. And I'm going to do what I need to do regardless of the way I feel. I'm going to do what I need to do. So when I break through this adversity, I can claim my sevenfold return. I can claim my blessing. Number 5, daily personal development, meaning every single day you work on yourself for at least an hour, reading books, listening to audios, watching YouTubes, listening to a podcast. And I'm not talking about at 2 o'clock on a Wednesday. I'm talking about early mornings and late nights and maybe while you're driving throughout the day. But no matter what, do an hour a day of personal development. And I know what you might be thinking, Matt, why is this such a big deal? It's a big deal because if you knew what you needed to know to get to where you would want to be, you would be there already. So the fact is there's information, there is knowledge that you are missing. So we got to go find that knowledge. But what it also does is it keeps us on track. Think about it. If I'm listening to a book or reading a book today about self-discipline, don't you think I'm going to act with more self-discipline? Of course. If I'm reading a book today on how to be a better leader, don't you think I'm going to be a better leader today? Absolutely, because it's a guide on my mind throughout the day. So whatever I'm listening to and or reading and or putting through my mind daily becomes the guide of how I live that day. So if we are making sure that we are personally developing every single day, then what happens is we will remain more focused. We will remain more disciplined when the decision of the adversary pops up or he tries to distract us. Because keep in mind, the adversary doesn't need to harm you. All he has to do is distract you. So when all of a sudden the distraction pops up, now guess what you can do? You could just rely back on your personal development. I read a book today about being disciplined. I read a book today about being a good leader. So when that opportunity pops up and you don't want to be a good leader, you can still be a good leader in that moment because it becomes a dominating thought on your mind. So we have to personally develop every single day. Remember, if you knew what you needed to know to have the life or business you want to have, you would have it already. There's information that you were missing, but what it also does is act as a guide to keep you on track every single day. If you wake up in the morning and you listen to motivation, you're probably going to be a little bit motivated every single day. If you wake up in the morning and you listen to TV or CNN, constant negative news, well then guess what? You're probably going to be negative throughout the day. So control what you put into your mind so that way it helps control what you're thinking about throughout the day and how you perform. Number 6, be intentional. You know, most people are wandering generalities, not meaningful specifics, meaning they just wander through the day with no direction. You got to be intentional. Is every action that I'm taking getting me closer to the goal? Yes or no? No, stop taking those actions. Yes, execute, execute, execute. What level of urgency are you executing with? Are you being intentional about having urgency? Are you being intentional about building the infrastructure you need to have the life that you want to have? Are you being intentional about growing the strength of your marriage? Are you being intentional about your health or your fitness and what you're putting in your body? Are you being intentional about the way that you are growing spiritually? Are you being intentional about how you are spending your money and how you are investing it? Or are you just blowing it? We have to be intentional. Most people go into a new year and they're like, I'm just going to wing it and it's all going to work out. That is not a good strategy. Hope is not a good strategy. Do you know what is a good strategy? Having a plan, executing upon that plan, and being intentional in every direction that we execute. Be intentional every step of the way, and the likelihood of you hitting, and not just hitting, but smashing your goal is going to increase significantly. Last but not least, number 7, stay spiritually grounded. So important, and I can't stress this enough. Stay spiritually grounded. Because if you do the first 6 things that I taught you, you know what's going to happen? Is you're going to start to experience success. You're going to start to win. You're going to start to make more money than you've ever made before. And do you know what's the greatest collapse of someone who's succeeding? Character mistakes, character issues, integrity mistakes, integrity issues. And the only way to overcome that is to stay spiritually grounded. Because no matter how good you think you're doing, we have to remain humble. We have to realize there's another level. We also have to realize that adversity can strike at any point in time, and or our comfort and or our ego and or our arrogance can keep us from getting to the next level. You have to stay spiritually grounded. Most people, they start to have all the success and they stop doing the things that generated the success. That's a character issue. Character issues come from a lack of spiritual groundedness. It comes from a lack of faith. All of a sudden, people start to make more money than ever before, and they become more comfortable, and they spend money on stupid things. They start to succumb to vices and things that don't actually serve them because they feel like they're qualified to do it. They feel like it's okay for them to go out there and do those things because they've quote unquote earned it. No, you haven't. You got to stay spiritually grounded. And so whatever that looks like for you, if it's reading the Bible every single day, if it's listening to worship music every single day, if it's going to church every single Sunday, whatever you need to do to stay spiritually grounded, I cannot stress that enough, because it is the true north to everything that you want. God wouldn't have given you the dream if he also didn't give you the capacity to accomplish it. But one of the reasons he gives you the capacity to accomplish it is because he knows the only way that you can get there is if you work with him in order to get it. And I want you thinking that way. If I want to hit my goal, I need to become stronger in my faith. If I want to hit my goal, then I got to remain spiritually grounded. If I want to hit my goal, I got to create a better relationship with my creator. And if I can do that, it will guide my whole entire year. It will lead to me handling situations better. It will help me become a better leader. It will help me stay in a more positive state of mind because I'm operating out of faith versus fear. It will help guide my decision making. It will help guide the way I lead. It will help guide my financial decisions. So I'm not, giving into things that aren't actually going to move the needle and help us scale. It will help guide you in every area of your life. Stay spiritually grounded. Stay spiritually grounded. So with that being said, 2025 is here. This is the first day of the rest of your life. This is the first day of the entire year. Do the 7 things that I talked about today, and you will stay on track. Be clear, know what you want, and these 7 things will help you stay on track. So with that being said, if you got something out of today, do me a favor, tell a friend, send them a text, do something. We put out this information for free. All we ask is that if you ever get something out of it, you share it with other people. We thank you guys, we love you guys, and we will see you guys next week on the Leaders Only Podcast.
Let's get it.